yes.
Hey.
There he is.
Hello. I finally made a Soccerish. Shout out to my high school, Brooks School in North Andover.
Yo, my family lives in North Andover. I didn't know you were from North Andover.
I lived there for 4 years. North Andover, Brooks School, North Andover, Great Pond Road. That's right in the center of my heart.
Do you two even know each other? Like Lori, Charlie, Charlie, Lori. Nice to introduce you
Yeah,
two.
seriously.
No, I'm up there
Come
all
on,
the time.
Lori.
That is
What?
My brother and his family. Everybody's
Oh
up there.
my God.
Wait, do you know Richardson's ice cream?
Yes.
I love going there.
Oh my God. Yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3, go. Welcome to the Soccerish podcast. I am Christina Unkel, joined by Lori, Lindsay, and we're not really sure if it's 1, 2, 3, go or 3, 2, 1, go to start off these podcasts.
No one knows.
No one knows. No one knows. I have 1, 2, 3, go. Lori has 3, 2, 1, go. So drop it in the chat, whatever one you think it is. But this is what we think it is. Lori, we've had an incredible weekend with the NWSL. So gonna kick off there before our friend Charlie Davies joins us to talk about U.S. men's national team and all of the men's football going on here domestically between the MLS's latest news and USL's promotion, relegation, and all that good stuff. But how are you? How do you feel coming off of that high on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I love this time of year. I think it's so fun. I mean, obviously, in playoffs in America, we love that. We love the drama. We love the excitement around it. And you have two teams in Washington and Gotham. Gotham 2 years ago won the championship. Last year, Washington lost in the championship. So I think they'll have something to prove. They'll feel more experience coming into this game on Saturday. But yeah, I mean, Chris Whittingham and I were on the call. We had a great time. The atmosphere was buzzing. So I think they were calling it Yellow Brick Road. No. Sorry, that's not what they were calling it. They were calling it Yellow Brick Wall because they try to do like a yellow out essentially, and a lot of the fans had yellow T-shirts on. The supporter section, huge little block and stuff of yellow, or as I was saying, yellow wall. So yeah, it was thrilling. It was awesome. Great performance by Washington. Huge victory by Gotham, and should be a really, really thrilling matchup, I think, for both of these teams on Saturday.
No, I mean, I turned it on. Obviously, CBS was covering it. You guys were on. Always great to hear your guys' analysis on it. Sitting there running around, they're like, quick, we need you to come talk about this offside, right? And you're like, what offside are you talking about? Because I just had it in my ear. I was with my kiddo. But yeah, obviously, thankfully, that doesn't make the final determination. Not that it was the referee's fault. It was the correct decision. But God, that was super, super tight, right? Yeah. On that goal that was scored. Who was the striker again that was running onto it? I forgot her name. Monday? Yeah, Monday. Love her to pieces. Monday, yeah. Leaning just by the slightest of margin.
Yeah, it was very close. Yep.
So close. I know. I was had to do a little bit of a halftime bit on it. I'm like, it's going to confuse everyone. But either way, it would have gone on the field, would have stood. That's how tight it was. But right, they had that quick counterattack, put the goal in the back of the net, and then obviously that relapse there that sealed that second goal. But exciting, and geez, Pete, I can't wait to see Washington in it. They got what is it? So what is it? Borussia Dortmund that does that, the yellow wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really cool. I mean,
it's the Yellow Brick Road.
Yellow Brick.
Couldn't get that one out. Goodness.
I'll keep it as the brick road. But I think the one thing that's, really, obviously the game in and of itself, the magnitude, them going back to the finals, they have so much momentum behind them. But I think one of the kind of me and my dorky, business operation side of it is how much of a 180, there's a couple of clubs in this league, right? And now we're talking Gotham and Washington. Gotham, formerly Sky Blue, have done a 180 when it comes to their fan base, when it comes to their experience, when it comes to people showing up and watching their games. Even Washington, what was it, 3, 4? I'd love to take the numbers back, but they barely had anyone coming and seeing them in Audi Field, and now they're selling out and they're creating yellow brick roads or walls. One or the other one.
Yeah. Oh, well, they were splitting their time for a while for different stadiums and different fields. Segra Field out in Virginia, Audi Field when they could have the availability of that stadium. So, but since in the last few years, since they've been a mainstay, maybe 2 or 3 years now, it's been a mainstay at Audi Field. Yeah, that fan base has been amazing. And I think Audi Field I would put in Kansas City. Those, and Providence Park for Portland would
Yeah.
be the three that I feel like are huge advantages when those teams are playing at home. And that was something that Whitney and I talked about. Get the first goal if you're Washington and utilize the fan base and to their advantage. And sometimes that sounds a little cliche, but I feel like in this, when you're traveling at this point in time in the season, you're Portland and you have a lot of the momentum behind you. You won in the shootout in the quarterfinals. I mean, it's not cliche, right? It's just true. Just get that first goal and don't look back. And even from the quarterfinals to the semifinals, I felt like Washington looked like a much more complete team. There was cohesion, and they had complete control of that game.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely did that. First move, people always say you should be on a neutral. I'm just like, no way, man. That's what you do. You fight all year long to earn that seed right. Like, do that as it is. But yeah, yesterday's game, like moving over to the next one, Gotham FC, like, nobody's talking about it. Everyone should be talking about it. Obviously, we're super biased with having Ann-Katrin Berger on this show, but she just did another. What's that called again? That whole like metamorphosis, like you save the ball out of the net kind of a feel to it.
Oh, well, it was dynamite save, and we also saw her do this in the Euros too. I mean, she continuously does it, and also in the first half specifically, because that's when she had a bit more ability. I feel like in this game. But just pinging balls like 25 yards on the ground to like midfielders. And again, that's like, if you've been watching Berger and you've been watching Gotham, this isn't new. She plays high off her line. She's almost like an extra player in there as an outfielder. But yeah, just tremendous goal. And after they went ahead 1-0 in this, like literally the last few seconds,
Yeah.
comes up with that huge save. So, yeah, probably not getting as much love as it should, just given that how important that goal. I mean, obviously it was a game winner by Jaden Shaw, and how important that goal was to send him through. So, but I think can't take anything away from that save that solidified that win.
Yeah, no, we'll give Berger some love for that and her Matrix move, because we knew she was probably listening to some kind of a slow classical music or
That's exactly right.
something leading up to kind of slow down that play itself. But so, I mean, we're going over to, are we flying? Is it at San Francisco? Is it at San Jose? I know I'm flying in someplace, and I think I'm flying into San Francisco, but the game's in San Jose, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing the same. It's hard to, these days, if I can't get a direct, then I'm like, get me the closest to that. And so the direct from Philly is to San Francisco. And then it's about a 40-minute drive, I would say, south to San Jose.
Yeah. So I get to see you out there. It'll be great. It's so funny because I like freaked out. I was like, oh, I told CBS the wrong place to book my flight.
No, that's the right one. Especially to get there, I'm sure the fastest. There's not very many directs into San Jose. I mean, every once in a while I think you can find it, but I haven't been able to from Philadelphia.
Yeah, so shout out to CBS for being like, do you think we literally were going to put you on the wrong flight? I'm like, no, that's a good point. So I'm like freaking out. Like everyone's flying into there, but shout out to Kimia. She always has my back. Love you, girl.
Kimia is the best.
Isn't she? She's like literally texted me, and I'm pretty sure I know what her body language was like. Nah, shut up. You're good.
That's funny.
I think I texted her like 5 a.m. I'm like, I'm freaking out thinking I'm going to the wrong place. But yeah, no, I mean, okay, so we're stepping in. We're at San Jose, neutral grounds. I know you've given a couple of takes of who you think is taking it, but
no, you're not. I'm asking you. We already established this. This is who do you think's taking it?
Oh, all right. Well, shout out to my girl Yael. I love you. I know we do deals together, so don't take this against me, but
I'm sending this to Yael right afterwards.
Yeah, don't. I got to do some deals still. Shout out to Washington. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm a big believer in momentum. Yes, Gotham is peaking at the right time. Just when you think about it, you look at the total of the 90 minutes put together and who has this momentum and I think has this kind of swag about them. I'm definitely going to give it to Washington. I mean, they have this swag about them, right? We still haven't seen Trinity on the field. I mean, I know she checked in for a little bit at the end of the second game, right? But you got players who are stepping up, who are saying like, Trinity or no Trinity, like, I got you, right? And there says so much about that player who can just step in, and they're big time players. They like to show, right, Croy, like they love to play in front of a crowd. They just get activated. And not saying Gotham doesn't, right? We obviously have our Esther, right? Shaw putting the ball in the back of the net. You got Midge, right, who's always a big time player and loves to show up when the cameras are on. No, it's not that she doesn't. It's just she's really good at showing up when the cameras are for sure on. But I just got this momentum. I just got this momentum with Washington. I think it's their year. That's kind of where I'm putting my eggs. We can't obviously bet on any of this stuff, so but that's where I'm putting my thoughts.
I'm similar. I think this is a wonderful matchup in the sense that one of the things about Gotham, defensively, they've been very good and excellent all season long. I mean, for them, with the amount of talent they have to finish being the 8th seed, I think in some ways highlights the inconsistencies for them to be able to find the back of the net throughout this season. Oh, yes.
Hey.
There he is.
Hello. I finally made a Soccerish.
Only made us.
We're just holding out for a little bit to make you sweat.
Nothing wrong with a little sweat.
and Charlie's defense, anytime he couldn't make it, it's because he's coaching his son's team. So in his defense, he's doing God's work out there on every single day.
And it's fun as hell.
How have you been? It's really good to see you.
Great. I actually had to cancel our team practice today because it's gonna feel like it's 20 degrees, I guess. So
what happened to fall, everybody?
Yeah. So I'm actually just gonna take my boys out and just do a individual training with my two. So still at it, and then we have a tournament this weekend. So.
Oof. Yeah. Game day every day. So let me introduce you properly. Charlie, welcome to the Soccerish podcast. You obviously know us both. Let's go. I mean, anything happens here. Anything goes. Who was the first person who cussed on our podcast, Lori? We were like, thank God. Oh, it might have been Bevianis. That's appropriate. But for those watching, the one, the only, doesn't need much introduction. You guys know he is the man, Charlie Davies, your former U.S. men's national team striker, featuring in the Olympics and the Confederations Cup, but also played in MLS with DC United, New England, Philadelphia. Did I miss anyone else, Charlie? Any other MLS clubs?
Nope.
All right. And then I can't say your other two teams.
Wait, when did you play for Philly?
Yeah. So my last club was Philly. So I got traded to Philly in August of 2016. So I finished that year. We made the playoffs. And then the next year I was there. And then after that season, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, fair.
It's too much.
Wow, I just didn't realize that. I mean, I could probably have named almost every club that you'd played for, but I didn't realize that Philly was your last one. Mm-hmm. Well, that's fine.
I thought for a second you were going to say he didn't play for Philly and it's another Rochester Rhino.
Yeah. What is this from? Did Kev chat GPT this again or something? And it's like, you can ghost all of us.
Damn it. I was like, I didn't have time to double check our producer's notes, but no, Philly boy there for a second.
My first club, my first love was Hammarby, and Zlatan is the part owner now of the club in Stockholm, Sweden. So shout out to Hammarby, which was
you doing a little bit of investment in there? You're gonna pick up some stakes in that?
Yeah,
some shares
that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
All right, you guys hear that, Hammarby? Get him up. Your boy's willing. Give him a call. This is what we do. We just kind of do business deals here on that side, but. Yeah. Now you're on our side, Charlie. I guess we're all on this other side of the rainbow where we're now doing broadcast TV announcements, cover a lot of stuff for CBS Sports. Shout out to your podcast. How many podcasts are you on? In Soccer We Trust, the U.S. Men's National Team podcast? What else?
It's been rebranded to Call It What You Want. But I think I've limited it just to that now. I'm just a Call It What You Want guy for CBS. There was a time when I think I was on 4.
Yeah, I think so.
So, it's been nice though because Jimmy and Tony have been awesome to work with. Of course, I shared the locker room with Jimmy. We were on the pitch together for the U.S. Men's National Team, and then Tony Meola is just an absolute icon. So, that was I'll never forget. My first World Cup was '94, and obviously he was one of the bigger names on the team, and just incredible performances. And I remember being like, he wore the coolest jerseys. And now I get to to hang out with him, and he signed me one of his jerseys and gave it to me.
Listen, I wanted his hairstyle, so we had him on, and I wanted his mullet, so I would just model after him.
Well,
and go,
I can't do it with my hair, so.
Fair enough. Lori's growing out her hair, but yeah, that's the one thing we found out. Is she Tony Meola was like her idol, and literally now we know where the inspiration from the hair comes from.
Okay, listen, I was like, I'm gonna have this haircut and then be able to pick up all the ladies. Okay, so
Hey, it works.
Charlie's like, this is
It
awesome.
works.
It works, and it will continue to work. Past, present, and future.
Charlie's like, that makes sense, Lori.
I love it, Charlie. So like, you're covering everything. We can tap in, and we probably will, into the game against Paraguay. I know the men's are playing on Tuesday. This podcast drops on Thursday, so the game will already have happened. But love to talk to you about U.S. men's national team stuff that's going on, right? As we're obviously on the eve of the World Cup next year, but also Major League Soccer's recent announcement, and then USL's promotion relegation on the men's side. Which one do you want to tackle? 3 items. You pick. First pick.
Let's start with the U.S.
Woo! All right. What about him? No, I'm kidding. We actually, the Paraguay game, that was fascinating. Before you jumped on, we were talking a bit about it. I was with Gooch. Gooch is in town for the game against Uruguay tomorrow night. Him and I were talking about the fight a little bit yesterday, but like, okay, we can talk about the fight, but you want to talk about the game?
Yeah, the game.
A few minutes? Yeah, let's do that part.
Well,
what are you feeling here?
Yeah, I think Mauricio Pochettino, it took him a while to establish the right mentality, or the mentality that he wanted, the attitude that he wanted from the group, not just from one player, the entire group. And so I think he's made a lot of progress. And if it finally feels like we're starting to see the identity of this team, we're starting to see the plan for this team. The formation change was massive for them to get the most out of their wide players, to create more space centrally, to have some more support actually for Balogun up top. So I think when you talk about the defensive options, you went from a back 4, which really looked like a 2 or a 3 in some cases, because those outside backs would go venture into the attacking third, and there was little cover, or you asked maybe a Tyler Adams to do a lot of your work, where now you can get into a back 5 when you're playing with 3 center backs. So there's a lot more protection defensively. And then I think going forward centrally, now Christian Pulisic comes inside. Now, whether that's Gio Reyna, whether that's Malik Tillman, whether that's Weston McKennie, whether that's Alejandro Zendejas, you have so much support now for Balogun, who ultimately I think is your best striker and the guy who's going to be responsible for creating space and scoring goals next summer. So I really like where we are right now. I would have liked this to be maybe the case two months ago or so, but we're finally here, and so I'm excited.
How are you feeling about next summer, given where we are now, even though it's a smaller runway, it feels like?
I'm positive on next summer. You need luck to go your way. You also you're going to catch a top opponent. If it's not in the group stage, and if it's not even in the first knockout round game, it's the match right after that where you're going to face a top country, and you're going to have to win some of those games, whether it's a team like Morocco, whether it's a team like Japan or South Korea, a team like Ecuador. Those are the type of teams you could face in that round, and you have to beat them if you're talking about making that dream run that we all hope for, that inspires a generation or inspires a few generations, to be honest. So in saying that, I think we have the quality to do that. I would obviously like everyone to get healthy and get on the same page, but it's promising.
How did you do that when you represented, the Stars and Stripes? How did you get into that mentality to say, like, okay, no one's putting the, betting on us, right? Everyone's thinking the other team's going to get it. How are we the underdog on that?
Yeah, so it's funny because in 2002, the U.S. have an incredible run to a quarterfinal, and they lose to Germany 1-0, and Germany gets to the final and loses to Brazil. But 2006 was a horrific World Cup. They were terrible, and they go crashing out. So 2010, that new cycle, I was very hopeful. I turned professional in December of 2006. And that was my plan. That was my goal. Let me grind away in Stockholm, Sweden, earn a move. The whole reason I went to Europe is because my dream was always to play in Europe, because I figured you're playing with the best. That's Champions League. That's where the best players reside. I need to be in that environment to make the most of my potential. And I knew typically national team players, you're playing in Europe, that's what Bob Bradley's going to want from you. So that's why I made that run. I think my initial feeling with the group was everyone's pretty confident, and we're one of the best team in CONCACAF. It kind of goes back and forth to Mexico, but when you're talking about going outside that bubble, pretty defensive. It's going to be tough. We're not the favorites. I think that all changed with the Confederations Cup run, and we lost to Italy the first game. We lost to Brazil 2-0 in the second game, group stage game. Now the last game, it's against Egypt. Bob Bradley just basically said, go out there and let's end this on a positive. Let's get a result. A win would be great to go out of the Confederations Cup, at least with a result that we can hang our hat on and say, okay, we got to do better next year in the World Cup, but at least we saw the potential of what we can do. And when we won that game 3-0, and when we get into the groups, we get out of the group to play Spain, it kind of gave us that hope, that belief that, hey, maybe we can do this. And then when we beat Spain in the way that we did, and it was a complete team performance down from Bob Bradley's tactical game plan to the way we acted on that game plan, and just everyone was on the same page. It was such a inspirational performance. After that final whistle, I don't think you could look at someone in that locker room and say, these guys don't believe that they can win a World Cup. That's how we all felt. That if we can beat Spain, a team that hadn't lost in 2 years, a team that's the defending European champions that actually went on to win the World Cup the following year, in that moment, we believed we're a country that can win a World Cup. We can compete with the very best. And on our day, we can beat the very best. And we lost to Brazil, although we were up 2-0 at halftime. And I think we got a little bit ahead of ourselves. But in the end, I think that was the mentality change. And we carried it into the World Cup. And unfortunately, we lost to Ghana in the knockout round game. But it really felt that as a group, we knew we had what it took to beat the best. And that's so important to have that hope, but also the belief that we've done it. The proof is there. We beat the very best team in the world. And to carry that with you every step of the way.
I know there's been talk about this current team needing at least one or two of those wins. Do you feel like that is true? Like they're going to need something like that, just kind of galvanize them, and almost like, because the runway's short now, right? So do they need like one or two wins that you feel like needs to catapult them into next summer's World Cup?
Yeah, think about Greg Berhalter when he was coaching the U.S. men's national team. All of the stick was statement win. They didn't have a statement win. Now, you could argue that some of the statement wins were just domestic in terms of CONCACAF. Beating Mexico in that First Nations League was an epic way to start Greg Berhalter's run, in tenure as the U.S. men's national team coach. They used that to win the Gold Cup. And then they got there were some rocky ups and downs in World Cup qualifying, but they finally got there and they qualified. But they never had that statement win in terms of top teams in the world. Now, the U.S. men's national team currently, they beat a strong Paraguay, but that's not a statement win. You know?
Yeah.
If you beat Uruguay, could you say it's a statement win if they don't have Fede Valverde, if they don't have Darwin Nunez and some of their debatable. Now, fast forward to March, where there have been some rumblings that the U.S. men's national team is playing a Portugal and they're playing a Belgium, teams of that level. If you win either of those two games in the very last window before the World Cup, that's the statement win you're talking about. And you could say, oh, it's a friendly. It's not. No, that's a statement win. And that's the type of win you would want heading into a summer with the World Cup on home soil. So I don't think they're that far away, especially if they get the injured pieces. Like Anthony Robinson's a massive, massive piece. Now, I love how Max Arfson has grown in and matured in this short amount of time he's been under Pochettino. He's been very impressive in the way that he's been able to keep pushing himself and getting gradually better with each performance. But Anthony Robinson's Anthony Robinson. And so if he can get back to full fitness come March, you get Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie's in the mix. You have Timothy Weah and Malik Tillman in the mix. Now you're talking about depth pieces. That's what I'm hoping for, and I think it's very possible.
So it's like, I know it's ironic coming from the referee side of it, but like, I feel like that was the first time, or at least one of the bigger kind of signals to your point about like this team just getting behind each other. Lori said it great when we were talking about the men's national team a couple months ago, right? And she's like, "Move over, Steve." Right? Was that your line, Lori?
Yes,
like, shut up, Steve.
Like, I'll give you the quick little background, but there was Kaya Hanks is a player for the Portland Thorns, and she played at Wake Forest last year. She was a rookie with Portland this year. And one of their mottos was like, shut up, Sandra, for Wake Forest last year. And it was just the outside noise, right? And we were talking about that, and we were like, this is what the U.S. men's national team needs to bring to their locker room.
Harness that.
Yeah,
harness that energy.
Harness to shut up, Steve. Right. Yeah. So just because you got to put everybody's going to have an opinion, especially when it comes to these like World Cups and it being on home soil. So yeah, it's like shut up, Steve mentality.
Well, I feel like that's what they had last night, Lori. Like, I mean, mind you, it was a brawl. And like I said, the irony of me as a referee, I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying, like, the last time I've seen them go at it, and that's just because I called it CONCACAF After Dark, right? I think, Charlie, we were on, what was it, CONCACAF Nations League when it was out there. And I mean, don't get me wrong, that was a little bit more of a maturity issue. But like, this is the first time I've seen them, I mean, unfortunately, literally fighting for each other, but like getting behind it. So like taking that emotion, taking that adrenaline is the most mature move. Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, like, does that get you triggered in the sense of your team saying, shut up, Steve, we're dealing with this. Let's go in. Let's make as much of a statement win as we possibly can with Uruguay here at, shout out to my hometown, Tampa Bay. Let's go. It's been since 2018 since we've had a national team game in Raymond James Stadium. So ironically enough, that's where I kind of got my first little TV stuff with Shaw. I was in that TV truck. But no, moving from the men's national team, I mean, because I think this is incredibly important. Like, Charlie, you hit it. Like, next year's World Cup has the opportunity and the platform, and I think will impact not just a generation, but generations, just like the Women's World Cup did, right? Our 99ers and such. How does that reflect too? Then when we talk about domestic professional football, back in the day, you had to leave domestic professional football to go across seas to get even noticed. Now, our talent and our leagues, now we're talking about Major League Soccer and USL, kind of calibrating how they're set up to match the rest of the world. What's the impact to you? And just for those listening, like Major League Soccer owners taking that vote to move to more of a traditional FIFA calendar, meaning like, right, the fall to spring calendar. USL on their men's Division 2 in 2028, I believe, is when they're going to launch promotion relegation. How does that, you as a footballer here, growing up in the system and seeing the next generation, what are your thoughts on both of those?
Man, that's a loaded question because there's so many different angles you can take. And I think from an ownership standpoint, you're not losing your best players mid-season, especially if you're talking about whether it's American talent that is homegrown and you've been holding on to for a while, waiting for their price to get to a point where, okay, we got to sell them. Or maybe it's a South American talent, a youngster who you've spent a considerable amount of money on, knowing that the next step is a big payday. And the summer is when these massive transfers happen. It gives the players ample time to adjust and have a proper preseason so they can work with the coach and kind of hit the ground running versus a mid-season transfer. That's why you rarely see clubs spend big amounts of money mid-season, because there's so much at risk, and there's not enough time for a player to settle in. Teams are typically mid go, and you're getting a player who's been out or for a month or two, out of season. So it makes a lot of sense. And from a player's perspective too, if you're coming to MLS from Europe, if your contract ends in June 1st or July 1st, and so you don't want to be going to MLS and move your family and have this big adjustment period come mid-season. You want the whole, I'm coming in January, I have preseason with my team, I get used to it, then my family comes over, a month or two after, or 3 months. So there's you got to think of it from that standpoint too, a more of a holistic standpoint. So I think on both sides, it's the proper time to make that move. From a young player who is, in an academy or developing here in the States, you always found it hard to make a move in the winter because, again, it's mid-season where if I play a full season and now our season's ending, I'm joining with everyone else. I'm not having to trial in the winter or sign with a team in the winter. It worked out for me because Sweden had the same type of season as MLS, so I came in for a full preseason. Now, if I didn't have a full preseason, I think it would have been that much more difficult for me to adjust. So I think it makes sense on all fronts from a player perspective as well as ownership.
Yeah, Lori, I mean, how's that? I know you cover Major League Soccer quite a bit too. How's that impact you, or what are your thoughts on those?
I mean, I don't think it really impacts. I mean, the biggest question I think all of us, and I love what Charlie was just saying, but it's more just like, okay, how do you kind of work around some of the cold weather teams, right? And right now, I mean, even when I'm doing like New England games and we're up there at the end of February, beginning of March, it's freaking freezing. So like people are
Montreal, Toronto, New England,
exactly.
like Vancouver, Chicago. If you play in late December, January, let's even call it like middle December, early December, middle of February, it's cold.
Yeah.
In some cases, snow. Who knows? So
it's just the way it's going to be. And in fact, though, the way that I look at it is, it feels like the exact right time. I think when we're thinking about, even Charlie mentioned '94 and how pivotal that was to where we are about to be next summer. And I think the trajectory that we all think that this is going to take the sport in North America, particularly in the United States, I mean, now feels the exact right time to be doing it.
And let's be honest, MLS couldn't do it in the past, even if they wanted to, even if they saw, wow, we can sign these players versus selling these players, because they all had NFL stadiums.
Yeah.
So you couldn't, even if you wanted to. But now you're at a point where the majority have their own stadium, so you can do what you want in terms of scheduling, and you don't have to work around like an NFL team dominating the stadium and you kind of being like the renters.
You hit on the head. I mean, like, you just put the business of football, like, where we've been demanding this game to go here in the United States. To your point, it's all tied to stadiums. Like, they're no longer secondary, third in a stadium deal, like where they get to choose third. They're actually going to be first with their stadium soccer specific. Because I get it. I feel that I got some people, I posted on it and people were like, oh, what about the fans? I'm like, I get that, but it's going to be cold, right? Premier League plays on the same, latitudes that we do, right? That we're talking about. The fans come out, and I get we have a young audience, but at one day you're going to have to take that flip. And what's good for the fan too is also bringing in some of the best talent in the world, right? Who want to come in, and the next promising talent in the world who want to come in.
People do it at Lambeau Field.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, let's put on the cheeseheads. Let's go. Let's figure it out a way. Like, I mean, from your corporate partnership teams, like, some really good things you could do with, like, I do not ask me why I'm in Florida, but I have hot hands right here. So, like, don't ask. I have no idea.
Yeah, and Tampa, what?
It's cold.
Did you go on a ski trip or something?
No. It's been, I think, 50 to 60 degrees.
Stop it. I'm talking about 20 degrees like today, and you're saying it's 50 and I need hand warmers? Come on.
That is a heat wave.
I go out with a t-shirt at 50.
No, thanks. And this is why I will always run a professional team in Florida, because it's warm, and so I don't have to worry about this calendar thing. But like, how does that impact? Like, where you guys see the game grow from the men's side of it, right? Now we're adding concepts of promotion, relegation with USL. Obviously, ownership structures are different in the USL versus the Major League Soccer. But, is this promising to see this much change of our game to now align with the global?
It is promising. For me, that's signaling intent that we're not changing our sport because of the other sports in this country, where it felt like soccer had to always be mindful of the NFL and MLB and, not so much NBA, but being very mindful that we don't want to go up against college football or NFL. And now we're at a point where we have our fans. We know who we are, and we're a league that wants to be among the best in the world. So we're going to do what's best for the sport and not try and think about, the other sports and losing or trying to gain fans from other sports. I think it's being done the right way, and finally, and maybe it was a necessary evil the way they got to this point. We're talking Major League Soccer, 1996, they probably had to operate that way. But as of now, I love the fact that we're talking about promotion and relegation. We're talking about USL being strengthened, which is going to help the American player. And then you have MLS that's only getting better and more interest. So remember, a lot of young talent back in my day, we didn't necessarily go to MLS if Europe was our plan, because you thought, man, they're going to keep us against our will. They're not going to eventually sell you. And even if you get a big number, which most teams would sell you for, they'll keep you because maybe you're an asset to the stadium with bringing fans in or whatever that reason may be. And then USL, for a lot of kids will say, hey, this is a league that I know they're going to sell me. I don't have to worry about, them saying, you got to give us 20 million or we're not selling you, So I love the fact that there's more opportunities for players to play and get an opportunity at fulfilling their potential.
You're a coach. You got your boys that you're putting out there and you're putting them through the traces here. Like, what advice, your history, your current, and then seeing where their game's going, what advice would you give, the young pros, their dads, right, their parents, their families who are helping guiding them understand like the new landscape and even the men's game?
Well, I think everything has changed from when I was growing up, and there were no academies, period, to now kids are getting quality coaching and they have quality competition. There's access, there's opportunities to things that I didn't even know exist, frankly, when I was 9 and 10 years old. So I think kids nowadays are in a great spot. Of course, there are still programs that are making it almost impossible to play for, given the amount of money it costs to play for certain teams. But there is a way for kids to make it in the sport now, with the amount of scouts, the amount of clubs that are out there. That if your kid continues to excel and he's working, I'm very confident he'll be found. He will be found. And then it's all about, I think, from the ages of 6 to, let's say, 11, 12, from that moment, that time period, it's essential to get a coach that knows the game, that has played the game, that can give them the foundation of basic touches, of knowing how to touch the ball, when to touch the ball, having them build their confidence in dribbling and doing the basics right. And I think at that point, you can hand them off to the next level of coach that's going to push them more from a tactical standpoint, positional, tactical. But I think at this day and age in our country, you just have to find the right coach that knows the basics really well to build a strong foundation with each player. And that may take some time, but at least I know they're out there being in this space now, coaching my kids.
I just wanted to not pivot away from this conversation, but you're also doing some writing, I think, leading up to the World Cup, right? Can you just talk about how that came about? Has that been a passion of yours, and kind of what is that geared towards?
Yeah, so I go back to shout out to my high school, Brooks School in North Andover. Took my writing game up a notch.
My family lives in North Andover. Yeah. I didn't know you were from North Andover.
I lived there for 4 years. North Andover, Brooks School, North Andover, Great Pond Road. That's right in the center of my heart.
Do you two even know each other? Like Lori, Charlie, Charlie, Lori. Nice to introduce you to.
Yeah, seriously.
No, I'm up there
Come
all
on,
the time.
Lori. What?
My brother and his family. Everybody's up there.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I lived on Great Pond Road. But yeah, I think.
Wait, do you know Richardson's ice cream?
Yes.
I love going there.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Love going there.
Yeah.
Okay, but continue. Sorry
Wow.
to derail.
Have you been to Harrison's for roast beef or no?
No.
Ah, you got to try that.
Okay, I will.
But so I think it was around, I just had started working with Major League Soccer on the digital front after I retired, and Simon Borg approached me and he said, "Hey, have you ever considered writing?" And I said, "Writing? I don't think I wrote anything since my freshman year at Boston College, like, you know," and so he said, "I think you should write some articles, like try it out." And so I did, and it was super stressful. Like, you know, having to get it in on time, like the meeting deadlines, it was a little stressful, but I enjoyed it because just putting your thoughts down on paper and making it make sense was a challenge and something I enjoyed. And so after 2 years or so of doing that, I had moved on from MLS, so I wasn't writing those articles anymore. But then I started working with a writer from the USA Today who is now at The Athletic, Martin Rogers. And so Martin was like, "Hey, you know, let's do a book. You deserve a book." So we started working for, it might have been 2 years of trying to write a book for about my life. And it was a lot of work, and we ended up not finishing the project. So he went on his way, and I think he went to Fox, and then he ended up at The Athletic. And I saw him at the Business Sports Journal with MLS in LA, and he's like, "I got something for you." I was like, "Okay." And he's like, you want to start writing for The Athletic? We want an authentic voice, someone who is respected, someone who's played the game, and someone who's going to be honest. And we think you can do that. And so I was like, I'm in. I had an itch, and I was looking to do something, and so now I think I'm like 6 articles in to this on this journey.
Sweet. I'm like looking it up right now.
And I've absolutely loved it.
Charlie,
what's most of it geared towards? Like, do you get to choose, or how is that?
Yeah, so it's essentially anything to do with soccer. I'm not tied to the U.S. Men's National Team. Obviously, the hype is around the World Cup, but it could be on anything that is maybe an interest to people. Maybe it's a hot topic, and maybe they need a fresh kind of take on it. So I've kind of done positions. I've talked about Mauricio Pochettino. My latest one was on Gio Reyna, which was very, very fitting given his top performance in the game against Paraguay. But I've absolutely loved writing, and I'm kind of open to anything.
Like, how do we do a suggestion box? So I'm looking at it right now. Everyone, if you're not already, follow Charlie Davies on The Athletic. I see your things. How do I do a suggestion box? Like, if I have a question, I want you to submit it. Do you answer any and all, or are you still?
Yeah, I mean, there's a comment section. Just, hey, I need to see an article about this. Like, give me your perspective on this. And
I love how I'm asking for a suggestion box and I can just text you. But like everybody else, where can they go? Because I'm pretty sure you don't want me giving out your phone numbers to everybody.
They can either tweet. They can tweet me. They can send me a comment on an Instagram page. You can obviously comment on The Athletic articles. But there's a million ways.
So Charlie, keep writing. But I do got to ask you this: when does that book come out? Is it shelved, and how do we get it unshelved?
I think I will eventually get to it. That it's almost just on a hiatus, but for sure, I will get a book done. The crazy thing is that, as your life continues to evolve and change, I wouldn't want that book to stop yet, But I have a feeling if 2026 goes the way that I hope for, that's probably the right time to do it, to start to try and finish it.
Woo!
That's
all
cool.
right. We can't wait for that book to drop. I mean, we're gonna have to. Lori and I are gonna have to start doing, like, what are those called? Like book clubs? I'm not really good at this.
Yeah.
I'll just read a chapter. I'll have you do like a chapter read or something like that.
I would definitely be down to do that. So
That'd be awesome. All right, Charlie, I know you got to get going. I know we do too, but there is one final question, unless Lori has a couple more, because we could talk to you forever, hopefully over drinks next time. But who do you have winning the NWSL final? Gotham or Washington?
Charlie's like, come on.
It's okay. She called me out. I'm like doing deals with both of the GMs, and I'm like, I'm going to get yelled at by one of them.
I'm going to go Gotham.
Ooh.
Riding that momentum. They have the experience of being in the final last year and winning it. I just think they've come on at the right time. I believe in Gotham. Although Washington's awesome, and I love the supporters of Washington. DC is always special to me. I love you, DC, but I'm going to go with Gotham.
Fair enough.
Oh, and that was supposed to be my final question, but we didn't even get into Boston FC with you, Boston Legacy, and all that you guys are doing. Oh, I feel like we need to have you back so we can just talk about
I'd be happy to come back. So
we're definitely going to do that. So everyone follow Charlie on Twitter, The Athletic, his book in 26, 27, 28. I'll make sure it's done before 28 for you guys. And then also follow his team, Boston Legacy, that's entering the NWSL next year. That'll be exciting. We'll dive into that a little bit later, but he's got Gotham. Lori and I had Washington, and we'll see what happens. And we obviously, everyone has US against Uruguay tomorrow night. We're all good on that.
We're all good. And CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, which I'll be doing. So
Nice.
Oh yeah, are you on the mic tomorrow for CBS?
I'm on the mic.
Yeah.
Go, Kev, get this clip, drop it. Charlie, catch him on the mic tomorrow. CBS Colosso Network Whip Around Show. I think I'm on that too, and I'm also live at the game, so I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. So sorry, Nasher, you can yell at me again. All right. Thanks, team. Thanks for watching us here on Soccerish Podcast. Catch us on YouTube, Spotify, all those fun things, and get to learn more about Charlie. We're going to have him on again because we just don't have enough time to capture everything he's done in his incredible life. So thanks all. Speak soon. Thank you for watching the Soccerish Podcast. You can follow us on YouTube, subscribe, and as well, follow us on social media. And we'll see you next week.